I've started volunteering at a daycare, working with children, just trying to be a positive role model. I also try to get my fellow peers and friends involved to let them know what I'm doing in the community.
Living United was when we brought people to the table, people from every sector, meeting in the United Way office to say, okay folks, we've got a problem. And not only saying, okay, we've got a problem, but how cool is it that we came up with a solution? That's Living United.
We have a really active workplace campaign. By giving through payroll deduction, you're able to ensure that your dollars are going to go to where the most need is.
There's some high expectations that we set for our young men. We don't just expect them to come through a program and sit and listen to us talk for once a week. What we're showing and teaching our young men is life-changing principles.
It really helps them when they're laughing and when they're all smiling and they're around each other and they're active. I think that that's going to help them live longer and know that just because, you know, they're a certain age doesn't mean that life is going to stop. I think it's just really important to put a smile on their faces.
Live United represents a call to join hands and think of we before me. Live United has the power to unite everyone, because those who live united know that we're all in this together to help improve the education, income, and health of every community.
All right, Zachary and I are here and we're going to be reading Antarctica. So Zachary, what type of book is this? Do you know? Fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction.
How do you know it's nonfiction? You're right.
It's all real.
All real. So what I see in the photographs are real people in a real place where these people are, huh? What can you tell me about from looking at this photograph? What type of place does this look like?
The North Pole.
It looks like the North Pole. Why does it look like the North Pole?
Because there's snow everywhere.
There's snow, and I think looking at this photograph is making me cold. It looks like a cold place to be. Let's turn to the table of contents. What does the table of contents tell me?
5 is welcome to the
Antarctica.
yeah.
So on page 5, I see Welcome to Antarctica. So this, Welcome to Antarctica, that's called a heading. And a heading tells me on page 5, I'm going to be reading about Welcome to Antarctica. Do you want to turn to page 5 and see that heading?
Yeah.
Can you point to the heading? Can you read it with me? Welcome to Antarctica. Good. I'm going to go back to the table of contents. Can you find for me where I might read about ice, wind, and snow?
Page 19.
Wow, how do you know that?
It says 1998. And it's ice, wind, and snow.
Ice, wind, and snow on page 19. Can you turn to page 19 and see if we see the heading ice, wind, and snow? You must be a good mathematician too, because you're using those numbers really well to help you. All right, do you see the heading? Can you read it with me?
Ice, wind, and snow.
Ah, you didn't even need me to read it with you. You read it yourself. Good. Ice, wind, and snow. What do you think we're going to be learning about on page 19 when the heading tells me ice, wind, and snow?
Since we already know there was snow, so we don't know where the ice or the wind.
Yeah, so we might learn a little bit more about ice and wind, and maybe the text will tell me that because I noticed you were looking at the photograph. Lastly, I see this, and this is a caption, and this caption is telling me a little bit more about this photograph. So it says, 2 scientists work in the Trans-Antarctic Mountains. So this caption is telling me about this photograph. I do want to point out one more thing, Zachary, before we finish our reading today. I noticed something on page 7 that's a little bit different about some of the words on the page. Do you see anything that stands out to you? What does that say?
Yellow.
Yellow. So the word yellow is written in bold, and it's bold print because it's a key vocabulary word that the author wants us to learn on this page. Okay?
Okay.
How did you think you did in telling us about nonfiction text?
Good.
I think you did great. Good job.
Vijayashree, we're going to read this book today. Now, do you think the genre of this book is fiction or nonfiction?
Fiction.
Why do you think that?
Because we just read this for fun. And nonfiction, we read it to learn things.
Oh, you're right. And there's a word that you used before when you and I were talking about how we knew this was fiction. Because is this real?
No, because they did not look like real penguins. They just look like pretend penguins.
Pretend, that's the word I was thinking of. They look like pretend penguins because we know that penguins don't wear scarves and jackets, right?
Yeah.
That's just pretend.
And dresses like that.
And dresses, you're right. So where's the title of our book?
Over here.
Awesome. Can we read it together? 5 little penguins slipping on the ice. Awesome. You know another way that I know that this book is fiction? Because down here it says by Steve Metzger, illustrated by Laura Bryant. What does the author do?
Write the words and the illustrator draw the pictures.
Awesome. So we're going to read a little bit of 5 little penguins slipping on the ice. All right, our fiction story.
5 little penguins slipping on the ice.
Awesome. Do you know what this page is called?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Title?
Close. So that is our title, and this is the title on our title page.
Yeah.
Can you say that, the title page?
Title page.
Awesome. 5 little penguins slipping on the ice. One fell down. Ouch! That's not nice. The mother called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more penguins slipping on the ice."
It's just like 5 Little Monkeys.
You're right. It's just like 5 Little Monkeys. So what can you predict is going to happen next? Because we know in fiction stories there's our characters.
Another one fall down, and the mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more penguins slipping on the ice."
Good job. So what is our problem in the story? What do you think the problem is?
No, the doctors keep saying no more penguins slipping on the ice, but the penguins are still slipping on the ice.
Do you think they're going to solve their problem at the end of the story?
Yeah,
How?
because they all can't slip in the ice because they all will be sick.
Oh, so I'm going to give you this story to read on your own, and you can see if your prediction was right.
Yeah.
All right? Thank you for reading with me.